Imagine waking up one morning and the coffee you bought yesterday for $1 now costs $10. You wake up the next day, it's $100. By the end of the week, you need a bag full of cash just to buy bread. This is not a movie. This has happened to real countries, real families, and real people. And it can happen faster than anyone ever expects. This is how hyperinflation destroys a country. Let's start with something simple. You know how money works, right? You work, you earn, you spend. The money in your pocket has value because everyone around you agrees it has value. That agreement, that shared trust, is the entire foundation of an economy. Now imagine that trust starts to crack. To understand hyperinflation, you first need to understand normal inflation. Every year, prices go up a little. A meal that cost $5 10 years ago might cost $7 today. That's normal. Governments actually want a small amount of inflation because it keeps the economy moving. People spend money instead of hoarding it, businesses grow, jobs are created. But hyperinflation is not normal inflation. It's not prices going up 5% a year. It's prices going up 50% a month, sometimes more, sometimes so fast that a price tag becomes outdated before you even reach the checkout counter. So how does this actually happen? It almost always starts with a government in financial trouble. Maybe there's a war, maybe the economy has collapsed, maybe the government has borrowed too much money and can't pay it back. And instead of making hard decisions, cutting spending, raising taxes, asking for help, they do the easiest thing available to them. They print more money. On the surface, this sounds logical. We need money, we'll make more money. But here's the problem. Money only has value because it's limited. The moment you flood the market with more of it, each individual note becomes worth less. It's basic supply and demand applied to currency itself. Think of it this way. Imagine there are only 10 golden tickets in the world, and you own one. That ticket is rare, so it's valuable. Now imagine someone prints 10,000 more overnight. Suddenly, your ticket means almost nothing. The same thing happens to money when governments print it without control. And then it becomes a cycle, a vicious one. Prices rise because there's more money chasing the same number of goods. People see prices rising and panic. They rush to spend their money before it loses more value. That rush in spending pushes prices even higher. The government sees the economy spiraling and prints even more money to keep up, and prices rise again, faster this time. Each step feeds the next, and it moves quickly. Here's what most people don't understand about hyperinflation. It doesn't just destroy prices, it destroys the entire social fabric of a country. Savings disappear overnight. A family that spent 30 years putting money aside for retirement watches it become worthless in a matter of months. People on fixed incomes, pensioners, teachers, government workers suddenly can't afford basic necessities. Trust in institutions collapses. People stop using the national currency altogether and start trading in foreign dollars, gold, or even basic goods like sugar and cigarettes. When people stop believing in their own currency, the government loses one of its most powerful tools, and at that point, recovery becomes extraordinarily painful. Now let's look at a real example. Germany faced it after World War I. Venezuela lived through it just recently. Argentina has flirted with its edges for years. This is not ancient history. It is happening in our lifetime. The deeper lesson here is this. Hyperinflation is never just an economic event. It is a failure of leadership, a failure of accountability, and a failure to make difficult decisions before it is too late. Every country that has walked this path chose the short-term comfort of printing money over the long-term discipline of honest financial management. Money is trust made physical. When a government betrays that trust, whether through corruption, incompetence, or desperation, the consequences fall hardest on ordinary people, not politicians, not the wealthy who move their assets abroad, the teacher, the farmer, the retiree. The next time you hear about a government spending beyond its means or printing money to solve a crisis, pay attention. These things don't announce themselves as disasters. They begin quietly, almost reasonably. And by the time most people realize what's happening, the damage is already done.